Record. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mike Armstrong podcast show, and this evening or this afternoon in stateside we're joined by Polsky Bukowsky, and he is a Polish American hip-hop artist, and we're going to have a little, and I'm actually a wannabe activist as well, which I'm a bit of an activist too, so we get on well there. And we're going to have a little chat about, marketing, rapping, hip-hop, and, moving to the States and all these sort of interesting topics. So bear with us. And how are you doing today, Polsky? You okay?
Hi, how you doing, Mike? Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm outstanding. Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate it.
No problem at all. And obviously, we met through your partner, Lena Levinsky, who is part of my Strong Communicators Mastermind.
Exactly.
She mentioned to me that, you're an aspiring hip-hop artist, etc. And he was picking my brains for some strategies, if you like, on how to do that. And I thought, let's take you on, let's meet you anyway, because I love meeting people. Give you a platform to showcase what you do for the people that watch my videos and listen to my podcasts, etc. And I could give you some ideas of maybe some ways of thinking outside the box and trying to market yourself in what is a saturated market, I guess, for hip hop in the US. But there's always an angle. There's always an angle to try. So it's great to get you on my podcast, and I look forward to seeing if I can help you in some way strategize how you can make a name for yourself in the US of A.
Oh yes. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, like I'm excited. I'm thrilled, to be able to talk to you and here's some jewels straight from you. Some advices. Because sharing ideas, that's the best way. Networking, connecting with other people. Yeah, my wife Lena, she told me outstanding and great things about you. You already shared with her some ideas which she shared with me. I was like, yeah, that sounds actually legit. That's all step by step. Yeah,
well, marketing's about standing out from the crowd. It's about if all the crowd goes this way, it's going that way. It's about thinking about, okay, well, what is available in the marketplace right now, and where are the gaps in the market that you can fill? Because there are always gaps in all markets, but unless you're looking for them and you're maybe adapting a little bit to fill those markets, then you're really competing with other people. And if there's already a surplus of those other people, then you're really you're fighting over scraps. So like the main market, the main hip hop US market, every man and his dog is a rapper and wants to get into that market. Or not every man and his dog, but all the street kids and all the youngsters from most of the big cities in America, they all want to get into hip hop. So you're competing with all of those. You know what I mean? And you're competing with what I would say a hierarchy, a legacy, connections, contacts, music industry, a leg up. You're competing with that, which is a challenging thing to do. And you're new and you haven't got connections or the contacts, or you've got the passion but you haven't got the contacts, then it's okay. How do I turn that passion into a business? And some of the thought processes I had was, there's a lot of hip hop artists out there, but as far as I know, I haven't come across any that are, Polish. So, you're unique, you're a Polish person who's moved to the States. You've got that, if you like, I would say hip-hop credibility by being in the States and the heart of hip-hop. You've got that credibility, but you've also got that uniqueness, which is, you're white hip-hop artists have been done now, you know what I mean? But you're Polish, Eastern European hip-hop artists, not so much, not so much been done. So what I was saying is, America's a big place to try and crack. So the places I would start is try and crack the state that you're in first, because if you become big in a state and you get a state following, then the next state wants to see you, and the next state, and that can mushroom out. But also, at the end of the day, Poland there's a lot of Polish people all around the world. Probably like I'm Welsh, and anyone who does anything on a global basis who's Welsh, I'll get behind them generally and support them. And I guess, well, I know the Polish and also Eastern Europeans do that. So it's not just the Polish market; it's the whole Eastern European market will back and support other Eastern Europeans once they elevate themselves, if you like, in the Western world, in the UK or in America or whatever. These guys, this is the roots of a performer or an artist, is to appeal to your roots and your real core fan base first, and then behind you. And then obviously over time you can sort of try and pivot into a more mainstream marketplace, So it's a bit like the grime scene in the UK. Started out in London, really, and now some of the major grime practitioners, they're global now, but it started off as they were just big locally. They were big in London. London, when I first started hearing about grime, it was a London thing.
Yeah. And spread around the world. Like grime, it's well recognized around the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of US artists right now try use those grime influence. I realize that.
Yeah, because they're trying to be a bit different, because they're going for a bit of a UK flavour, because the American hip hop scene is packed full of American hip hop artists. How can you be different? You know what I mean? Unless you're part of the East Side crew or the West crew, and you've got the big backers and the music producers. Unless it's very difficult to compete with those colossuses, unless you're offering something different. Eminem did it a long time ago because he was the first sort of credible white rapper to come along. There was like Vanilla Ice and a few people before him, but Eminem was, he cleaned up. The first credible white rapper was always going to clear up.
Oh yes,
because it was a long time coming. But I would play on my Polish roots, my Eastern European roots, try and maybe come up with a bit of a Polish hip hop theme. Maybe even sampling a bit of Polish music or something. Play around with it a bit, come up with a unique sound. Yeah, something that is clearly Polsky, Bukowsky. Yeah, because if in the music business, if you've got your own sound, your own thing going on, and all of a sudden people remember, it's not just, oh, you're one of the hip hop artists. It's like, oh, that's Polsky. You know what I mean? And that's standing out from the crowd. Oh, that's a Polsky beat. So that's what I would look at, is how you can mix a bit of Polish, Eastern European flavour into, more generic hip hop beats and hip hop, words and stuff. But again, put a bit of Polish culture in, because again, most hip hop artists, they rap about the same sort of subject matter, because a lot of them are from the streets, if you like, and they rap from the streets. And even when they get off the streets and they make a lot of money, then they're not so much rapping about real life from the streets, but their perspective of it, but you can rap about, something that will appeal to other Eastern Europeans in the Western world. You can rap about things like immigration, or, having an unusual accent, or, you could put that flavor into your words and into your sound, and all of a sudden, you created your own, bit like grime, in London. It's a London flavored hip hop. You could have your own, and that actually, I think one of the strategies I said to Lena was as well, is if you find other Eastern European artists, you can build your own street crew. You know what I mean? And you can start, building your own sound and your own flavor. And then, it's much bigger as a collaboration to start, banging on the door of, the music industry and getting people to notice you, etc. When there's a whole culture, yeah, rather than just, just yourself on your own sort of thing.
I'm glad you're saying this, because you're the second person who like explain that exactly the same way to start finding like your audience in your own backyard.
Yeah.
My mistake, I believe, was like when I started rapping English, I was like, okay, I want to be US artist. I want to be, and I forget about my country, my roots,
And your roots,
Fun fact, hip hop as a genre, music genre, is the most selling genre in Poland.
Okay.
It's suppressed like rock and roll, like all of those disco, techno. Hip hop is the most selling genre in Poland.
Yeah. So if you become a Polish import, yeah, a USA export to Poland, yeah, then the people in Poland are going to look at you as having credibility because you're actually in the States, yeah. So they're going to look at you and think, oh, you know, this is somebody who's one of us, but he's got that sort of USA sort of backing and crowd and gathering and whatever, like, you know. And then once you can get yourself big in any country, you get yourself big in Poland, and collaborate with Polish people who want to connect with some of your connections in the States and vice versa. And then all of a sudden you can come back to America with a bit of a sound and a reputation and
fan base.
A fan base, you know, and all of a sudden you're a different proposition then than somebody who's one of the 10,000 or 10 million other artists competing on the same level playing field, all with no fan base, all in the States, all trying to rap about the same thing. All of a sudden you're like, oh, well, you know, this guy's made his own culture, his own career, you know, just like the guy who does the grime, Stormzy. You know what I mean? Now Stormzy's a global icon, but he was just the head of the London crime scene for a long time, you know, and there's a couple more like Dizzy Rascal and there's a few people before him and stuff, but yeah, so it's just about being you and be the best you that you can be, because no one else can be a better you, yeah, and just take what is in you, you know, that's what I do. I am me, you know what I mean? And my advice comes from my experience, and your sound should come from your experience, and your words should come from your experience, and it shouldn't be, you know, I'm going to try and write something that the market's going to like. You know, just be authentic and write something that you like and that you want the market to listen to and that you're passionate about. And people in the marketplace will like that, you know, and it'll, if you're right about what's true to you will be true to, you know, music makes all sorts of people think of all sorts of different things, but a lot of people, if you're writing about some of your struggles, they'll have the same struggles. You know what I mean? But sometimes, you know, when you write about certain songs, some people have got different struggles, but it still appeals to them because it's all about, you know, clever use of language and, you know, creating passion. You know, some people have written songs, you know, like well, there was a song recently, I think it was written about his nan, big hit in America, Scottish guy. It was written about his nan, but everyone thought it was a love song. You know what I mean? Because people will interpret things however they interpret them.
Oh yeah, like there's a lot of interpretation. Like one song might have like 5 interpretations, and all of them might be right. Even. Yeah,
exactly. You know, that's just about language, and you know, when people are when you're talking about, you know, my struggles, for example, you know, you say that my struggles, well, that means different things to different people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, but we all have struggles, so it's a universal message, you know, overcoming my struggles and whatever. And then that opens up to a big market talking about your struggles. You know, for you might be talking directly to the immigration market, saying, well, you know, it's tough starting out from fresh in a new country, learning a new language, understanding the culture. That's your struggle. And other Eastern European immigrants might understand that struggle too. But then, you know, it can resonate with this message. It resonates with your direct niche market, but it can sometimes spill over into wider markets because it's like, well, you know, we all have struggles at the end of the day. So, you know, it all depends, you know, how you're summing up the story of your struggles, whether it gets adopted to other people and their struggles. And actually writing about that, you know, I would say, you know, probably, you know, moving house and moving into different areas is tough when it's just in the same country with the same language and the same culture. But when you do that in a different country, different language, then that's a big struggle. So I would rap about things like that, you know, which is different than, you know, rapping from the streets and maybe the gang culture and all that. It's still rapping about some of the same things, but in a different context and a different way, and you're already offering something unique. And if you start rapping about, you know, those sort of struggles as well, at the moment, the whole world's going through struggles. So again, you know, you can ride that wave and try and tap into, you know, that resilience, or, you know, because again, music sometimes is of the moment as well. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's about rapping about what everyone's going through now, and then, you know, And
Yeah,
then
right now the most popular topic is the pandemic. Like
yeah,
everyone rapping about the pandemic, struggles during the pandemic, like revolution, and
yeah.
now around the world is like so much happening, all those
Yeah,
protests
exactly.
from
And you
Poland
want
to
to give
US.
people motivation and inspiration and stuff as well. Rapping positive. That's the other thing as well, like turn it on his head. A lot of rapping's about, negativity and gun culture and bitches and whores and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. But you could be, a positive slant on all of that, like, rap about inspiration and motivation and resilience and, oh, at the end of the day, it's about being different. So just look at what the marketplace is doing and go, okay, how can I rip up the rule book and do something on my terms, my way? Like, I think, that's what I would suggest. That, So, what are your thoughts on that?
yeah, I'm 100% agree with you. And like for example, if we're talking about markets nowadays, like back in the days, like 90s, that was a totally different story. That was East and West Coast, but
Yeah,
it was very competitive, and that was all about lyrics and sound. Nowadays, I don't know, not sure what's happened to the music industry, but it's just plain, and there's no more lyrics. Right now, the
no,
mumble rap, like selling the most albums and stuff, which is like no message, no lyrics, it's just the sound, hippie, happy, stuff
yeah,
like that. So things change. I love still lyrics. I'm the old-fashioned guy,
yeah, old
I
school.
put my pen, I press my pen, to the fullest, to focus about lyrics. I
Yeah,
love your advice. It's like you advise me just, to focus on my own backyard, positive stuff, instead of be like universal for whole like industry or state. So yeah,
yeah.
definitely I will take this advice,
Yeah,
because
and
to be
also, yeah,
the
also what
roots
I
and
would do is use all social platforms. Yeah,
yeah,
use all social platforms and build up the audience, connect with other Eastern Europeans, etc. Get that real solid foundation. Yeah, the people who are going to buy your music just because you're Polish and they want to help you out because I buy stuff because I'm Welsh. If someone I know who's Welsh launches something, you get behind them because it's a tribal cultural thing to do, so just connect with as many people as you can on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok's the best one for organic traffic, so
hmm
just put in the right hashtags, connect with the right people, just keep building up your audience and your fan base, and eventually you can spill over from that niche sort of sector into the mass market. But and just work harder. If you believe in your dream, don't never give up on it.
yeah, I
Because
really do, but like my first like first songs in English was like I try to be so much like American. I was like try like no, I totally forget I'm Polish, even I get strong accent. I like no, I want to focus, I want to be American rapper like as best I can, I want to be like Pac, like Biggie, like Jay-Z,
yeah,
and like I said, I realized that I had to focus about me, myself, and
yeah,
I, and my Polish passport, and I have to give back to my society, my country, and after that, like you said, I can, I don't know,
yeah.
like storm the U.S. market, hopefully,
Yes,
but with
yes,
some resume,
you
with
never
some
know,
resume and my
but
background.
if you start there, you've got a much better chance of the springboarding off what else you've done.
Hmm
But the other thing which you could do, I don't know if this is happening in hip hop, you said it's going very sort of melody, and not so much music, right words and
Yeah,
stuff. But
yeah,
in the
message.
UK, I'm into dance music a lot. Like, yeah,
Hmm
I used to be a promoter of a nightclub, and I was into 90s house music and stuff. And
There
all the
we go.
90s music, all the music these days, all the dance music is all the top tunes from the 90s remixed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, can you pick out some old 90s classics and write them, but with a Polish slant?
Hmm
Yeah. So a bit like, like Missing You, which was Kissing You, some of those, where they changed play the same songs, but with a different beat and a different word set. All of a sudden,
Yeah,
it's a different song.
yeah, change the
Those,
wordplay. Yeah.
yeah, so could you pick some really iconic songs and just modern mix them up a bit, Polish, stick a different beat in them, and all of a sudden you got yourself like some remixed hip hop and that sort of stuff as well. So play around with it, like be really really creative,
hmm
and so that's something I would suggest you to do as well. And I'm on a mission to become a global speaker, and I'd like to headline events. And so, you know, it'll take a long time for me to knock other people who are headline speakers to get into their position. So one way of me being able to do that, which I'm strategizing and thinking on at the moment, is to do my own event, which I can headline.
Exactly. Yeah.
So again, like, you know, if you want to get into the music industry, sometimes you just got to make it happen. Yeah, you got to put an event on, put yourself as the headline act, get loads of other good people around you, and just give it a long enough time ahead and a good enough value for money proposition, and market the hell out of it.
Yeah, you know what? I catch myself. You know, like for example, after like, you know, I wrote the song, I record everything, I polish, you know, I send to the, you know, the Apple Music, Spotify, and instead of like promote, you know, like be aggressive with promotion, I'm like waiting for miracle, because I already did my artistic part. You know, I wrote, I record, I polish, I mix, I master. You know. And I'm waiting for miracle. But real work starts after releasing,
you know,
promote. Go to the people.
There's a Chinese saying that says, man who stands on top of a cliff with mouth open, wait for a long time for duck to fly in. Yeah?
That's a good one.
That's a good one, yeah?
Yeah.
But what I say is, this is the key thing to take away from our conversation this evening, is that the best musicians in the world, the best singers in the world, the best actors in the world, the best DJs in the world, you name them, right? And the people you'll name won't be the best of any of those things in the world. Yeah? They'll be is the actors, the musicians, the DJs that were the best marketeers in their sector. Yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah, there are better DJs in the world than the top names that, you know, you can list, but they're at home in their bedroom because they can't market. Yeah, there are better singers than Madonna, you know, Kylie, you know, Lady Gaga. Yeah, there's better singers than all of those people. Yeah, but they're much better at marketing themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the legend jewel. You're like,
there's a million better actors. I love The Rock, but there's a million better actors than The Rock.
Most definitely.
Yeah, but The Rock's got millions and million pounds more in the bank than they have. Yeah. So this is why I always try and say to creatives, the creative bit is important, but the successful bit is sales and marketing of any industry, any sector.
Exactly.
Yeah. So ultimately, it doesn't matter how precious you might be on your creativity and your skills, and you know, that's not me. That's not me. I don't do that. I make the music. That's somebody else's job. Exactly. It's either your job until you can afford someone else, or you find a bloody good partner. You know what I mean? Because you can't make it with you. A lot of people think, I'll put it out there and people will find it. Well, if you're lucky, you know, 1 in a million.
Yeah, but you have to be lucky, like to be able to win in, you know, I don't know, like.
Look how many people are out there putting out music left, right, and center, day in, day out. Look how much content there is in the social media and episodes.
Nowadays it's endless content. Everyone is releasing, but you have to be like that. You have to be good promoter. You know?
So what you got to do is you got to produce a great product, and then just don't stop selling it until enough people see it and enough people buy it. Like, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's nowadays. But back in the days, like there was like big record labels, for example, supporting you. Right now, basically, even those major artists, they're doing independent work. They're working for themselves, you know. They're all
on YouTube. They're all on Instagram. They're all on Twitter, building up their own audiences because they know that's where the future.
Never-ending work, never-ending progress.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, that's some of the key things as well. If you're really, really determined and you're not going to give up, and also about repurposing your content as well. So modernizing, bringing some old stuff back again, because you know maybe it didn't hit. Sometimes songs are about timing as well. So sometimes you'll launch a song, and for 3 years, 4 years, it goes nowhere. It was a song about struggle, and the world was happy. And all of a sudden, the world goes into a struggle, and people resonate with it. And you know, so sometimes it's about repurposing your content as well. You know, reusing it, and you know,
rebranding is a good thing. Sometimes
rebranding,
remixing. Even you love your stuff. There's nothing wrong with the little bit rebranding, refreshing. And I noticed that, you know, that's
definitely. And there's nothing wrong with, like, you know, trying, you know, same lyrics over different beats, or, you know, just putting it out there, just see, you know, that's called like A/B testing or split testing. You know, where you put different stuff out there and you just say, listen, you know, put this out for a few months, put a different version of it out and see which one seems to resonate or get more traction. At the end of the day, you know, business, I'm a marketeer, so, you know, I do that all the time. I put stuff out there. I test the market. I test other markets and stuff. If you want to do purely stuff just for yourself, then you just make it for yourself. Once you're happy with it, you put it out there, you market it. You know, people like it or they don't. If you're actually gonna, it's like if I wanted to make a number one, or I wanted to, you know, make a Christmas selling song or whatever. You know, you could strategize that as well. So, you know, you can sit there and go, okay, I'll analyze a load of songs and I'll try and, you know, be authentically myself, but in a Christmassy way or in a commercial. There's all sorts of different things you can do. But, you know, obviously you're the artist there. It's up to you. I would just, when you're new, when you're just starting out, just a bit like me wanting to become a speaker. You know, I'm speaking about different topics and I'm honing my different speeches in and speaking different places, and I'm looking to see, like a comedian when he writes a stand-up thing, like, you know what I mean? He'll tell some jokes which ones resonate with people, which ones don't. Take that one out, move that one in. You know, you're trying to put a set together, like, you know, it's the same as if you're trying to make a best-selling album. Well, then you bring out a load of singles, you play them in different places, and you pick the ones that fit in well together. They blend together as an album. They tell a story together. And also, though, they're the ones, you know, you produce maybe 30 songs to put 11 on an album or something, like, you know.
Yeah, true story. That's how it works.
That's the best way. You know, there's loads of top selling artists. They have way more songs than they ever go live with or go public with. They're just waiting to see the right mix of songs for the right album and the right
right time, you know, like
the right audiences, the right timing, like, yeah, all sorts of things, you know.
Yeah, in music, I believe in music is all about perfect timing.
Yeah.
You get, your catalog might be like endless, and you get a million of songs, but you have to create, you know, and cut this song, you know, today, like, for example, just select only 10 which perfectly fit in nowadays, like, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, Christmas, for example, or like pandemic, like, you know, the political stuff, or like happy summerish, you know.
If I was an artist,
timing and selection.
Yeah, if I was an artist, I would always go for that Christmas number one. You know, because if you can hit a Christmas number one, you make money forever. So as a commercial-minded marketeer, I don't know of many hip-hop Christmas songs. I can't think of that many of them, like, you know.
No, that was just few albums, but they never reached the top of the pick. But fun fact, all of the most outstanding selling, you know, the classic hip-hop albums, they were released around the Christmas time. That's the perfect time to...
Yeah, well, actually, you can make a Christmas album without having to have any Christmas lyrics or whatever, but just with some bells in it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can have a Christmas sounding album or single that isn't actually Christmassy, but it's just Christmas sounding. I think E17 was a band that did that in the 90s. Another day, it wasn't a Christmas song; it just sounded a bit Christmassy, and they had white coats on to make it look wintry.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's a song that they
video.
Yeah, it's a song that they and a Christmassy video, and it's a song that they cash in on every year for, like, you know, 20, 30 years.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So you know, so again, you know, with my commercial mind on, I would do music for my authentic self, but I would also play around with music for the audience, music for the market. You know, because it's a business at the end of the day. It's show business.
Yes, that's show business, exactly.
It is show business.
Show business.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, so, you know, the business side of show is actually appealing to enough people who want to pay for it. Yeah. So you have to give them what they want sometimes. And if they want, you know, like I say, a hip hop song for Christmas, I don't know of many. And, you know, if you can crack that, all of a sudden you could rap about, you could do a bit of all of what the strategy we talked about today. You could pick something that's already existed, song-wise or lyrical-wise. You could change the words to Christmassy, right? Or it could even be a Christmassy sounding song, where you change the words to a Polish Christmas, and you rap about you know, the things that are Christmassy to Poles or to Eastern Europeans. You know, I don't know I don't know if it's Christianity, or I don't know if Father Christmas is the same. I don't know enough about Eastern Europe.
Pretty much the same. Yeah, Christmas is the biggest holiday. You know, it's all about, you know.
Yeah. So, but obviously, like, I don't know if you have different dinners or whatever. So, you know, you could rap about all sorts of things. You could rap about like hope, and you could rap about giving people hope at Christmas. Yeah, and tie it in with the pandemic and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Release something now and get it out there for Christmas, you know, because you only need, you know, 4 weeks marketing sometimes, you know, to, sometimes if something really hits a chord, people want to download it or whatever, you know. And
I like that. I like the idea. I like that. I never thought about a Christmas-ish, you know, like vibe. But
no, that's because you're an artist, and so
like, it's actually my work.
Yeah, you're going to think about like what most people do. Again, I'm quite unique. I start off at the end point and come backwards. So most people start off at where they are and go forwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but obviously going forwards means you don't know where you're going, or you don't know what direction you're going in, and you're just bouncing around and you're going here, there, and everywhere. Like, you know, whereas if you actually start off with, okay, I want a successful music career, right? Which means I got to have a top selling hit. It means I got to produce something for a market that's going to so you start off at the end bit and coming backwards, putting the plan in place, rather than start off at the beginning and just randomly making decisions, and that becomes the plan. Yeah. So it's a bit different, like, you know, but yeah, it's a way of thinking about things in what I would consider to be the best order, the right order, starting at the end point, working your way forwards. Then you've got a plan of action, and you have to take massive action to succeed in any walk of life these days, because there's lots of other people doing the same sort of thing. It's a competitive world we live in. So you just gotta, once you've got the right plan and you know where you're heading, you just gotta outperform the other people who may have a similar plan and are heading in the same direction. You gotta find how to outperform them. And the only way you can outperform them is you outmarket them, you outmuscle them, you out-strategize them, or you out-lyricize them. You know what I mean? You produce something better, of a better quality.
Better product.
There's been plenty of like number ones over the years that have been rubbish, but they hit the right chord, the right note. You know, Mr. Blobby was one in the UK. You know.
Yeah, like sometimes I'm like amazed what's going on with the music industry. Like, I'm not talking even specifically about hip hop, you know, but what kind of those hit songs which they doesn't make sense at all, hitting the spots, they're staying like 10 weeks on the the top 3 most selling songs and albums. I'm like, what's going on? This is like, but that's the marketing.
But that is the marketing, you know, that is, you know, Simon Cowell, which you probably heard of because he's stateside as well. You know, he's a marketeer, the same as me. So, like, every time he does like TV programs and stuff, if I watch them, which I don't very often, but if I do watch them, I'm always able to call who the marketplace, who the audience is going to vote for. They're the marketplace. If you're in tune with people and you're in tune with markets, you can see who the popular people are going to be. And some people haven't got a clue because they're just not in tune with popularity or marketing or whatever. But when you're a marketeer, you're in tune with people. And what you realize is what do people like or what do people want? And if you're trying to sell a record, it's much easier to give them something they want than something they're never going to enjoy or listen to. You know, you're really running uphill, you know, having a big struggle, like, you know, to try and get people to buy something if it's not what they want in the first place. You know? So hip hop is a genre people do want. It's a popular genre, but it's
I would say nowadays it's the most popular genre around the world. Like when I see like the US market, definitely is the most selling.
Yeah, well, hip hop and R&B, dance R&B, yeah, but people like Nicki Minaj and
right now to Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Cardi B, all of those, you know, they are some of the biggest artists globally, like, you know, but and it all depends whether it fits in with your culture and what you want to rap about. You know, they've gone down, like, there's a lot of songs recently gone down a controversial angle, like, you know what I mean? Because controversy
is marketing as well.
It's marketing, yeah, well, that's it, you know, once you have got a video that, you know, people are talking about banning, you know, that's how Madonna made her name. You know what I mean? That's how Madonna made her name. So, you know, you could sometimes, you know, it's like a load of comedians that they make their name on being controversial. Yeah, you know, because people like controversy. But you know, that's got to be you. It's got to be part of you. If you're controversial, you're anarchist, and you want to upset the apple cart, then go down that route. But don't do it as a strategy if it's not you. You're not comfortable doing that because it's not you, and it's best to be authentically you. Yeah.
Exactly. That would be, you know, in my opinion, the controversial is good for the short-term success, you know. But if you're talking about longevity, you have to be in peace with yourself, you know, and with your artistry. So
yeah, it's like me. I got a podcast. Obviously, we're on it now, and I'm a speaker and I'm a strategist, and I could easily, you know, go on and be someone different if I wanted to be, and I could probably get more audience figures by doing that. You know, by shock jockeying, you know, swearing, whatever. I don't mind swearing on the odd podcast if it comes out as part of my actual conversation. I'm not going to turn it on.
Sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah, sometimes it is necessary, but I'm not going to turn it on just because I think you might get me some more listeners. I'm going to be me, and if me works, me works. If it doesn't, be me. You know, if what I'm doing doesn't work, I can still be me and try something else, but it's got to be comfortable with what I'm comfortable with, like, you know. But you know, it doesn't matter. It's like when you're a footballer or an athlete or whatever. It doesn't mean you can't try different tactics. You know what I mean? If you're looking to win, you can still try different tactics. As long as you're still playing the same game, and if you don't want to cheat, don't cheat. You know what I mean? If you've got certain values, don't cross those values to play the game. But it doesn't mean that you have to play the game one way. You know what I mean? If one way doesn't work, try a different way. Try another way. I'm a strategist. I play like sports and games and all sorts of things. And if I'm losing, I don't like losing. I'm going to try different angles and strategies until I start winning. Well, you know, this is the game of life. If you try one angle, it doesn't work, try another one. Keep working until you get the right strategy. And then once you hit the right strategy, you know, you'll go far then, like, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Flexibility, progress, never-ending progress, you know? And,
yes, like your T-shirt says.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually, that's my own T-shirt, you know? I believe in progress. That's the thing, you know? The little steps, but forward, not the backward. You know?
Yes, yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter how long it takes. This is one of the best bits of lessons and advice I've ever had in life. And that's if you're in the right queue, if you know you're in the right queue because you're passionate about being in that queue, just stay there. Doesn't matter how long you got to stay there, but stay there. You got much more chance of getting to the front of the queue than you have by keep jumping queues.
Exactly.
You know So never really give in unless you take some honest feedback. Unless you're useless at something, if you've got talent and you're decent at it, don't give in. Even if you've got to work other jobs and do it on the side or anything, just don't give in. It's the queue, and just stay in the queue and keep working the queue. Keep elbowing people and hustling and working your way through the queue, and eventually you will get up the front and be able to enjoy the buffet.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Never be a quitter.
No.
Always pursue to happiness, and
Yeah, so one of my favorite quotes is winners never quit and quitters never win.
So true. Like, seriously, you can drop the mic right now.
Yeah.
Like,
boom.
Because that's the legit jewel, yeah. So important, yeah. So true.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So yeah, I think that's covered quite a lot of the sort of strategy about how to think about the business of what you do and the event side of it and the industry and the marketing and the ideas of the songs and all of that. So that's great. We covered that. So just tell us a little bit about sort of what life's like for you at the moment, sort of in and around COVID and when did you go to the US?
So actually COVID and the pandemic gave me a lot of time to to create, because this job situation was a little bit fluid. I work for Emirates Airlines, and the airline industry was hit very badly.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of time to just sit at home in my home studio and just write the lyrics. So to be honest, for me that was such a blessing, because I never had that kind of me time. So I was just locked in my basement and just pushing my pen to the fullest, recording every single day and just, you know, enjoying myself, you know. So
Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of artists have had a similar sort of productive time, haven't they? A lot of artists have really, you know, enjoyed the just being stuck, you know, not being able to
Mhm.
do anything. So therefore, just writing, creating,
Yeah,
producing, all that sort of
no
stuff.
distraction, exactly. Just the music and, you know, like, so home responsibilities, but just music and me. That was, like I said, the pandemic was a blessing and a curse. That's how we can, you know, summarize the whole pandemic.
Yeah,
And yes, I just recently, 2 days ago, I released a new single, "Lies," which is a very, very political single about what's happening right now in
yeah,
Poland with all those protests, with this U.S. election as well, and
yeah.
it's all about politicians. And you know, the title "Not Lies" says everything. You know.
Yeah, yeah. So, so where do people engage with that? How do they listen to it? You know, where can they get it? That sort of thing.
So during the pandemic, I decided, you know, to sign with the ASCAP and start releasing my music like globally, not just in YouTube or like a SoundCloud. I'm releasing on all major digital platforms. So you can find me on, you know, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, and name it, Amazon. It's like even right now, I received a recently email that my songs will be even available in China on those Chinese streaming platforms.
So
So
what do they need
I'm
to
available
just?
globally.
So they just need to type in "Lies" by Polsky, yeah,
Yeah, by
Bukowski.
Bukowsky, Lies, and you will see my own music. Whatever you want, which the streaming platform you prefer, I'm on it.
Yeah. Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I got a YouTube channel. I'm actually like start rebuilding the YouTube channel, but there's all my songs, you know, on there, and also a few videos, short videos. There's actually also my old Polish music, a Polish rap. So if you want to see like me from back in the days, and
Yeah,
also you can listen to Polish rap as well. But like I
brilliant.
said, right now I'm mainly focusing about the English wise, and I wanna discover, you know, my Poland background. So I wanna like focus my next songs. They will be definitely reaching the Polish topics instead of focusing about the global stuff. I will be like playing
Yeah,
around on my backyard, you know. So you
yeah,
can
good.
expect a lot of Polish stuff, and you know, paying respect to the roots.
Send me a link to
Most
your YouTube channel, and I'll
I will.
subscribe, and also I'll share some of your content and that.
I
And
truly appreciate
send
it.
me a link to like Spotify or Apple or somewhere, whichever the top places to listen. I tend to use Spotify around, but send me some links and stuff, some information. I'll put it in the description of my podcast and
Awesome.
my YouTube channel as well. And I'll link to your channel in my recommended channels and all that sort of thing, and just give you a bit of a boost to it wherever I can. Because
Thank
I'm
you so
always
much. Thank you.
helping people. And yeah, you know, one day once you progress far enough that you know you're headlining stages or whatever, then just put me some tickets in the front row and you know, happy
Listen, like
days.
most definitely, I'm pretty sure one day we'll meet on top of the mountain, you know, and I will be laughing. Remember, Mike, this is our first podcast when we spoke about, and you advised me all of those, you know,
Yeah,
jewels. Yeah, I'm pretty sure and confident about that, you know.
yeah,
So
brilliant,
also the best
brilliant.
luck for you, because Lena told me about like you're like doing everything, like you putting so much work on your content and marketing, and like that's why I was so excited to be able to meet you, you know, because
Yeah,
Lena told me such a great stuff about your work, how
oh,
creative
brilliant.
you are, and never ending. You never stops. You're just doing stuff, interviewing. You know, you want to beat the record, yeah, with the podcast
Yeah,
I
yeah,
heard.
that's it. Well, I'm on a mission, just like you. You know, you want to make it big. I'm trying to become one of the most known people on the planet, so I can become one of the top speakers on the planet. So, you know, a lot of the strategies that I'm teaching you, they're proven strategies. They're stuff I do myself. Something else which I do actually, which you should do, is you should. I don't know if you use the hashtag Polsky Bukowsky, yeah, but you should use that hashtag, yeah. So
Yeah,
every bit of content you ever do from now on should have the hashtag Polsky Podolsky on, yeah. And also,
actually, I doing this.
yeah, okay. How long have you been doing that for?
Yeah, I start doing this. Hmm.
Recently or a long time ago?
not too good. When I started on the beginning of pandemic, I started create a little bit of marketing, So I create this hashtag Polsky Bukowsky, and I try put everywhere whatever I can.
Yeah, put it on everywhere, right? Google search me, right? When we finish, right? Google search me and look for the hashtag Mike Armstrong. Yeah. And get a flavor for how much you can put out there and where, yeah.
All right,
Because I haven't just got the hashtag Mike Armstrong. I got loads of hashtags, like, you know what I mean. I got loads of different pseudonyms and different stuff, but I can direct people to. I got like Mike Armstrong quotes. I got like Mike Armstrong podcast, Mike Armstrong videos, Mike Armstrong YouTube, Mike Armstrong podcast. I got MA News, Mike Armstrong News, MA Group, MA Consultancy. Man Media, I got loads of stuff, like, you know what I mean? I just it's on and on and on. But I'm building content into the internet that can be searched at any time. So, say for example, I go on a podcast or I go on to an interview, and people are like, "Oh, where can I find your content?" I can just give them a hashtag, yeah, and they can go and Google search that hashtag and find whatever type of content I want to give them based on the conversation or whatever. Yeah, it's like filing cabinets in the internet.
Yeah.
So
that's nowadays. That's how you networking. Like now that used to be like on these venues, concerts. Right now it's all about hashtags and the online networking.
Yeah, exactly.
Games change. Like I'm a little bit old-fashioned, but because of like people like you, I'm learning how to change my mindset and be more like
Yeah, brilliant. And like since the pandemic myself, I've been producing so much content as well. Because I'm on a mission to do more podcast episodes than anyone else has ever done in their first year or in a year. I don't know what the record is, but I just keep producing as much content as I can because hopefully I'll beat it. One day I'll find out, like.
Exactly.
But again, it's about like most of the people, the top actors, the top musicians and stuff. If you listen to them, they say yes to everything. They don't say no. It's business. Because the thing is, if you can enjoy what you're doing every day, which I do, and if you're making music and that's what you love, then you should do. And I do 16, 17-hour days. Why wouldn't I? I love what I do. You know what I mean? So sometimes you've got to outwork other people to outperform them and to get to the top. Sometimes you've got to just work. Like, the Rock, you can't put a movie on and he's not in it. But,
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
So, he's working all the time. So, if he's not working filming, he's working in the gym to make sure he's the Rock so that he can keep filming. So.
Yeah, seriously, like never stop, never settle. Just keep pushing.
Yeah, that's it. And for me, it's all about mentality. As long as you're doing something you love, then it's not really working. I don't call it work when I'm working. I call it living.
Exactly. I guess that's the biggest success in life. You're like, for example, you're not feeling like you're working, but you're not feeling you're working. That's your hobby. Like your work is your hobby. Hobby is your work. I guess that's the key to success and happiness.
Yeah, doing the things that you would do when you come home from work. Yeah, that's the hobby stuff. Yeah, the stuff that you do when you're not in work, in paid work. Yeah. That's your hobby. If you can do that all day long and get paid for it, and you're not working, you're hobbying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you keep smiling all of the time instead of like bitching around like, oh my God, I hate this work. I have to change this work. No, you're just enjoying life.
Yeah, I come on. It's a Sunday. It's 9 o'clock in the evening when I come on here. 9 till 10 o'clock. Most people wouldn't work 9 till 10 on the evening.
Yeah, like 9. Forget about it. People will be like
Sunday evening. It's a Sunday. I'm not working Sunday. I'm not working in the evening. I work whatever hours I want to work because I like doing what I'm doing.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the highlight. Highlight of our conversation.
Yeah, brilliant. And I think we've been about an hour. So I'm actually, I'm not at home at the moment. I'm down at a friend's place because I helped him move this weekend. So
that's great.
Just relaxing down there now. So it's been an hour. It's 10 o'clock. It's been a fantastic conversation.
Yeah, time flew so crazy. I'm like, that's 15, maybe 20 minutes, when we start our podcast, and it's already an hour, and it is, I can tell. That's oh my God, that's a perfect example. That was like flawless conversation, and I just want to say, Mike, I truly appreciate it. I'm honored to be able to be part of your podcast. And thank you for all of those advices. And Jules, I will follow, and hopefully sooner than later, I will be able to send you some results, you know.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, that's it. I love helping people, and the reason I love helping people is because I have information that they need to help them get results. And I'm a results-driven person, so nothing would please me more than to see you get some results from the information I give you, because knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. Yeah, taking the knowledge and applying it so that you get even more knowledge from the application of the knowledge. That's when you really start to build some wisdom.
Yeah, it's like spiderweb.
Yes.
It's like keep growing, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So you're in New York, aren't you? Or just outside New Jersey?
No, I'm in New York, Long Island, you know.
Long Island, New York. Yeah, well, I've been saying to a few of the people I get on from New York, I get a lot of people on from stateside. And New York I haven't been to yet, but it's one of the places, you know, high up on my next places to visit. So
you have to. Mandatory.
Yeah, you let me know when you get yourself a big gig, and I'll come over and sit in that front row, and we go partying after then.
Oh, we'll do like Polish and Welsh guys do.
Yes, definitely. Brilliant. All right, well, thanks very much for coming on the podcast, and you know, best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Take care.
Yeah, bye-bye. Right, nothing else left to say now other than have a great day. I know I will. And thanks very much for listening. Cheers. Bye-bye.